everybody. Welcome to Dandelion Cottage and the 12 Days of Christmas, Day 4. I'm Leslie Watkins, and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful card. And this is a what we call simply stamping. So it just uses paper, ink, and stamps, and I'm going to show you how to do that. This is the stamp set that I'm using. It's called Nature's Beauty, and it is beautiful. And it features all these wonderful animals, the deer, the fox, and the rabbit. And then you've got some elements here to put some foliage in the background, some grass, some snow texture, and a little laurel leaf. So this is a really nice set to have. And you can do a lot with it. These kind of scenic stamp sets that are interchangeable allow you to make all sorts of wonderful sort of backgrounds and landscapes and so on. I also have the Itty Bitty Christmas sentiment stamp set handy, and I think we'll probably use one of the sentiments from here. I have 3 inks. I've got Soft Suede, Misty Moonlight, and Seaside Spray. And I have an assortment of blocks that I have my stamps already to go mounted onto. Okay, so I'm just going to put these up here for now. And I'm going to be using Whisper White. I'm going to be using both the thick cardstock for the card base, and I have one ready to go here. So I'm just going to grab one of these. And that's just a half sheet of the cardstock. And then I have some I have the standard Whisper White, and I've cut out a piece that measures, you just need one, and this measures 3.5 by 4 3/4. I'm going to get out my trimmer. And I just want to remind you that if you're thinking about placing an order for some of the essential tools, one of which is this trimmer, that you might want to get that order in sooner than later because of the delays in shipping. So if you'd like to get any of these products before Christmas, so you have time to make your cards, get your orders in now. And you can go to dandelioncottagedesign.com and go to the shop page, and you will find all the information that you need to know about purchasing these items. And also after the video I will be putting a link below, so it's one-click shopping, and you'll have 2 choices. One will be for the essential toolkit, which will include the trimmer, the paper snips, some glue, and some paper, and the other will have all the rest of the supplies that I've used to make this card that I'm working on today. So you'll have all that information below, but after I shoot the video. And I'm going to take a piece of the Misty Moonlight. No, this is Misty Moonlight. Okay. This is Seaside Spray. And I'm just going to trim these down. So if I measure on my card, I can see that for the larger mat, it's 4 by 5 1/4. You get a perfect cut every time. perfectly square. And then this one, excuse me, this one's going to be a 1/4 of an inch smaller. So this is going to be, I'm going to cut this down to 5 by 3 3/4. And let's just check that. And that gives me a nice border all around. And here's my piece of white that we're going to be stamping on. And that again is 1/4 smaller all around, so we get this beautiful reveal. I'm going to get out my stamp pad, and this is just a foam pad with some paper, scrap paper over the top. And I'm going to begin with my deer. So using, let me see if I can get this so you can all see. That's my soft suede. And I'm just going to stamp my deer over on the, towards the left side of the card. There she is. And while I have this out, I'm going to take the shrubs, and I'm just going to put a couple of stamps in the foreground here. There we go. And also in this set are these little pieces of grass poking through the snow. So I'm going to put a little bit of that here and there. Okay. Now I'm going to switch to the Seaside Spray. And I have these, let me show you on the case. I have this stamp of 2 trees and the stamp of 1 tree. So I'm going to be using both of those. And I'm going to stamp once and stamp off. Okay, so I get a little bit of a lighter tone in the distance behind here. Okay, so just like that. And then what I'm going to do is switch to my Misty Moonlight ink, which is a little bit darker, and I'm going to take that single tree stamp. I'm going to stamp off onto my scrap paper once, just put that there, and then I'm going to take that stamp with the shrubs, and I'm talking about this one that I used here, and I'm just going to clean that off. I'm just using my chamois to get the ink off of there. It comes right off, it's water-based ink. And now this time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put ink on the top half of the branches. So I'm just going to put half the stamp into the ink, and that's going to give me just a little bit of these branches poking through the snow. Okay, that kind of an effect. All right, so that's our stamping done. not finished. I have a sponge here. It's actually a quarter of a sponge. It was a little round sponge that comes in a package of 3, the stamping sponges. And what I'm going to do is, with the Seaside Spray ink, I'm going to come in little circles around the top and just put a nice tone in the sky area. All right, and then I'm just going to take the sponge and go around all 4 edges and just kind of flick that so a little bit of ink there we go. I think I'm just going to put a little tiny bit in the foreground as well. Just a tiny bit. Okay, now we need our sentiment. So for the sentiment, I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight. And this one says, Season's Greetings. And I'm just going to line this up so it's nice and straight. Just put that right there. Now all that remains is to put the card together. So here are my colored mats that I cut out, and I'm just going to be using some liquid glue. I'm going to put just a thin bead around, like so. I'm going to give that a good burnish with my bone folder. Make sure that's nice and straight. A little more glue. And here's my card base. Now you could always stamp your sentiment on the inside of the card, which I often do, but today I've got it on the outside and I can use the inside for my message, or you could stamp an additional one. There we go. And then I'm also going to put a little stamp on the outside of my envelope. So here's my envelope, and I'm going to use the Seaside Spray. And I'm just going to use the double trees. And actually, that looks so pretty. I think I will put those on the inside as well. There we go. Okay, So there's our simple card, simple stamping with our beautiful Nature's Beauty stamp set. And this is really just the beginning of what you can do with this stamp set. It's just extremely versatile. It's a wonderful set to have. And I will have that listed below in just a little while. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you stay well, stay creative, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 5.